Today we will finally do it. We will go through the basics of VIM, the best text editor in the world, and the one I use. So VIM is available pretty much everywhere. You can get it in a package manager in any GNU/Linux distro. You can get it on BSD, macOS, even Windows has a graphical version of VIM, which I don't recommend using, but you do you. The whole point of VIM really is to be in the terminal and to be so tightly integrated with the shell and with your terminal workflow that it's just an irreplaceable tool in any programmer's or sysadmin's pocket. And it's also an incredibly good text editor besides just being convenient to use in the terminal, and I use it instead of an IDE for even my big programming projects. Alright, so once you have VIM installed, whatever way you installed it, you can open up by simply typing in VIM in your terminal like so. And perhaps the most commonly used meme in the Linux community is "I can't exit VIM." How do you exit VIM? You may have noticed that there's no big X button or big task panel, whatever, that you can press exit in. But if you have a brain, you will see that it says type Q, enter to exit. So what does this even mean? So it's a text editor, but it has a command line, and that's because VIM is what you call a modal text editor. Now, what does that mean? So it has 3 modes, but no one ever really uses the third mode, which is visual. But the 2 main modes are normal and insert. And normal is where you would type all your commands, it's where you would do all your keystrokes for cool and efficient things you can do with a VIM. And insert mode is where you just type in text, and that's it. Alright, so let's get started with VIM. And also there's a number, and I entered insert mode by pressing I, so all my keystrokes should be showing up on the screen. I installed a cool screen key program. So if you press I, you go into insert mode. If you press escape, you go into normal mode. And I have numbers on the side which aren't there by default, so if you quit VIM like so, Q exclamation mark to not save changes. I will remove my .vimrc for now, which is just the VIM configuration file, and I'll open up VIM. So now it's in the default configuration, no numbers. Now, once we're in insert mode, you can do whatever you want. Type, stuff, whatever. Normal text editor behavior. But the power of VIM comes from normal mode. So let me type in a couple of things. So this is a test. I love VIM. I heart VIM. I am a pro terminal user. xd lead hacksaw. Alright, and it keeps giving me this error, no file name. So why is it giving me that error? It's because I'm doing this command, W. And what this command does is it saves whatever you put in the file. So it's short for write. You can also combine commands, so WQ will write and then quit. Q exclamation mark will quit without saving changes. If you type in Q without save changes, it will tell you that you can't quit unless you press Q exclamation mark, so you know what you're doing if you're quitting it and not saving your changes. If we press W and then we type in the name of the file, so test.txt for example, it will write it to test.txt, and now we can save it. Alright, cool. So, where does the power of Vim come from? So, I'm on normal mode right now, and in normal mode you can navigate with arrow keys, which no one does because it's Vim. The beauty of Vim is that you navigate with H, J, K, and L. Now, why H, J, K, and L? Well, they're on the home row, which, if you're a touch typer, you will know the benefit of that. If you're not a touch typer, well, tough luck. Learn to touch type. H, J, K, and L are superior to arrow keys in every way. You don't have to move your fingers to the arrow keys every time you want to move around it in the text. They're faster, and they're integrated with other Vim functionality that works by denoting directions with the H, J, K, and L keys. But how does direction even work? So H will move you left, L will move you to the right, K will move you up, J will move you down. So just like that. Think of J as an arrow key pointing down, K as an arrow key pointing up, H arrow key pointing left, and L arrow key pointing right. And now you can navigate around. So to state the obvious, this only works in normal mode. That's why most of the time in the Vim you should be in normal mode and only in insert mode when you're inserting text. Now, so navigating around the file just by pressing arrow keys or H, J, K, and L is very tedious. But Vim has a solution for anything you want to do with navigation. And I mean anything. To go to the start of a line, you press 0. To go to the end of a line, you press $. And this actually will bring you to this, which is just one character before the end, which makes sense because you can't really do anything in normal mode if you're at the very end of a line. To erase a character in normal mode, you press X and it will erase the character in front of your cursor, like this. To undo your action, press U. To redo, press Ctrl R. So Ctrl R redo, U undo. But if you want to insert something at the end of a line, so instead of pressing $, and then I for insert and then arrow key to the right, what you can do is press, for example, well, you can press capital A, which is Shift A. And that will bring you to the end of a line and put you into insert mode straight away. So this is what you call appending in Vim. Now, you can also delete and copy and cut files in the Vim with its internal clipboard. Now the Vim internal clipboard is an absolute godsend of a feature. I don't understand how people use editors without something like this. Basically, you can forget about your mouse. So gone are the days of getting your mouse and highlighting text that you want to copy, and then pressing Ctrl C and Ctrl V and all that. Nope, don't do that in Vim. What we do is, and this is where H, J, K, and L comes in once again. To copy a line, you can press YY. So YY. This will copy a line. To paste in a line, press P, and it will paste in a line. Very simple. To delete a line, as you have just seen, you press DD, and this actually doesn't just delete it, it also cuts it. So if you press DD on I love Vim here, then you press P, it'll paste it in. So you can already see how useful this is. If you're on a line and you want to copy a certain amount of lines down or up, or a certain amount of characters to the left or to the right, you can do something like, well, actually, this is why I had numbers in the beginning. By default, it's very hard to know how many lines down you're actually copying, unless you want to be doing maths in your head while editing, which is not fun. So in your Vim RC, it's advisable to do these two things. Set number to get numbered lines, and then set relative number to get relative numbered lines. And now you have relative numbered lines. And what do relative numbered lines do? What's the benefit of them? Well, the indented number, the 4, shows you what line I'm currently on. And the numbers going away from my cursor show how many lines away from my cursor a certain line is. And why is this useful? It's useful because what we can do is, for example, we can Y for copy, and just once, then a number, so for example 2, and then a direction, for example J, which is down. And what that just did is it yanked or copied this, this, and this. So I was on this. As you can see, I'm a pro terminal user, is 2 lines down. So if we yank 2 and then J, it will copy 2 lines down. If we then paste that in, it will do whatever. You get it. The same goes for D. We can do D to J to delete 2 lines down. We can delete D4 K to delete 4 lines up. We can delete 7L to delete 7 characters to the right, and undo to undo that. Basically, yeah, very nice. Vim also has special navigation for paragraphs and words. So to go forward 1 word, you can press W. To go back 1 word, you can press B. To go forward 1 paragraph, you press closing curly brace. To go back 1 paragraph, you press opening curly brace. But the text file only has 1 paragraph right now, so we can yank 4J and then go to the bottom of this and then go paste like this. Now we have 2 paragraphs. So now we can navigate across these with curly braces. And to go to the top of a file, you can press small g twice. To go to the bottom of a file, you can press big G once. So that's bottom and top. If you have a very large file, for example, and also yanking doesn't just work with certain numbers of lines. What you can do is you can yank capital G and it will yank all the way to the bottom of the file, so we'll do all this. Now we can paste, and now we can do capital G to go to the bottom, and we can go yank GG, which will yank all the way to the top. Then paste that in, and we have all this. And you can't really see it going up or down, but because it's all just the same thing over and over again, but it's going up or down. So this is the bottom of the file, this is the top of the file, and this delete everything, D capital G. Now that's the very basics of Vim normal mode. Well, actually, one more thing. So there is built-in editing of certain lexical paradigms, and in layman's terms, if we do this is a sentence, you can see this is a sentence, right? Our human brain knows this is a sentence. Vim knows the sentence as well, so we can do this is a word. Sentence here is a word, and we can do CIW, which stands for change inside word. So what it does is deletes the word, then puts us into insert mode so we can replace it with whatever. We can also delete inside word, which will delete inside word. That's DIW. We can also yank inside the word, which is YIW. Then we can paste that in. We can do the same with lines. Yank inside line, and then we paste in a line. Yank inside. No, sorry, it's not yank inside line. It's to yank a line. We would do this is a sentence, and then yank inside sentence, YIS, like this. And now we've yanked a sentence. To yank a line, you just do YY. Okay, very nice, very nice. Now, a big thing in Vim is that you can do searches for words, and you can repeat your previous command with the period key. So for this, test.txt isn't really a good example, but if I copy the GPL license file, we can have some fun. This has loads of words for us to experiment on, so you can do this with any file of your choosing. If it has a lot of words in it, it's fine. And this is what we'll be working in. So to find a word in a file in Vim, you press slash like this. Then let's find, say, the word free. And now we're at the first occurrence of the word free here. And we can change this word. So we can do CIW, and then free what can we change it to? Non-free. Now, so this is non-free now. We have changed it. But what's the point of this? If we go n now, so n, small n, will bring us to the next occurrence of free, and I actually found it in this word freedom. So now if we press period, we will change the inside word to non-free again. So n, once again, freedom, period, changes it, and over and over and over again. Very sick, very sick. Now, capital N will go to the previous occurrence of the search term, and it will loop around. Once it has reached the first one, it will loop around to the final one. And yeah, so that's word editing. And the period key as well, we can do the inside paragraph, which DIP paragraph. Same thing as sentences and words, works exactly the same way. And finally, final thing I want to show you is how do you work in Vim with large projects. So I mentioned that I use Vim for projects. How? Very simply. So if I go into System 0, this is a big project of mine, and I go into Vim, and then for example, I want to edit a file in here. I can do kernel, so edit, like this. Edit is a command. Kernel kernel.c. And now we're in kernel.c. And what's really cool is the Vim has tabs. And you can edit in the tab like this. Tab, edit. And then, for example, kernel drivers disk fs.c. And now we're in a different tab. We can also repeat that command, but instead of fs.c, or wait for this stuff. Alright. If we do repeat that command and we do eta.c, and then we repeat it again and we do kernel cpu idt.c, whatever, doesn't matter. So now we have 4 files, and how do we navigate between tabs? To go to the previous tab, we press small g and capital T, like this. To go to the next tab, we press small g and small t, and they do loop around like this. You can also go to a certain index of a tab, and tabs are 1 indexed, meaning that they start with 1. So if we go to 1 gt, or not gh, 1 gt, it will bring us to the first tab. 3 gt will bring us to the third tab. To quit from all your tabs at once, you can go qa. Vim also has a built-in directory browser, and this is extremely useful. Well, I don't really use it, but it's useful. If we do Vim and a directory, for example, dot for the current directory, we can just go around. So this is the project. We can go into kernel, enter, and find kernel.c, so we don't even need to do edit and manually find the files like this. Very nice. So that's Vim, the most powerful text editor, and trust me, in this video I've barely covered 1% of what Vim can do. It can do so much. I'll probably have to do another video or another 100 videos on Vim. There are many things it can do, but these are the most commonly used ones and the ones I use on a daily basis pretty much. So hope you learned something from this video, and thank you for watching.